As we all know, the power scaling system in One Piece is badass in a really unique way. The power of someone can be judged by the bounty they carry, and just as it increases, both their ability and the threat they pose to the world government increases just as much. The one organization whose power levels are still relatively in the dark is the organization that, ironically, operates in the shadows. Of course, we're talking about the mighty Revolutionary Army, and once again, we are feeding off of scraps. A little side note for Mister Oda. Oda-san, I hope you're cooking something massive for them in the final arc, because this level of obscurity is just torturous. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the number 2 of the revolutionaries, the ex-noble and sworn brother of Monkey D. Luffy, and the late Great Ace. We're talking, of course, about the lovable and wholesome Sabo, the man who has, in contrast to his revolutionary compatriots, been very active in recent events in this conflict-ridden world. So much so that he has earned the moniker of Flame Emperor by those who look up to him as a fighter of the oppressed. So, what exactly does Sabo bring, other than his immensely adorable personality, to the revolutionaries that has warranted him a position of authority which is second only to the commander of the revolutionaries, Dragon? And what's his bounty gonna look like when Oda-san eventually reveals it in hopefully a grand occasion? Let's begin. Well, the short answer to the first question would be to go watch the 1-minute long fight between him and Jesus Burgess. Yes, Sabo straight up grabs the 1st Division commander of the Blackbeard Pirates by the face, angrily squeezes it after Burgess insults his brother Ace, and when Burgess lambasts Sabo for not being there to save his brother, he smacks him point blank on his face with the Fire Fist. He absolutely low-diffs the commander of an Emperor of the Sea without breaking a sweat and without even a shred of hesitation. The ruthlessness Sabo displayed in his humiliating treatment of Burgess goes against the soft, boy personality he's always exhibited when surrounded by his friends and family. This really is the scene where Sabo sheds all of that away, and Oda reminds his viewers, be careful, this guy is the second in command of the most wanted criminal in the world. You may be wondering, what on earth does 2 minutes of combat screen time prove in a series so vast and expansive? What else has Sabo done which makes his bounty a worthwhile reveal to look forward to in the first place? If you're wondering this, then you're either really on an anti-revolutionary army agenda, or just haven't caught up to the One Piece manga. Firstly, this man is next in command to Monkey D. freaking Dragon. Yeah, we know next to nothing about dragons, so that isn't saying much. But really, this guy is the most wanted criminal on Earth, and has been for a very long time. Beyond the likes of Whitebeard, Kaido, and Big Mom, Dragon has always been the existential enemy of the world government. We may not have seen his powers, but we know they must be at least at the level of all 3 admirals combined, to be able to elicit the fear that Dragon's mention creates. So yeah, the guy who's next in command to that demonically feared monster is the last person we should be underestimating. It is also important to remind ourselves that the army has consisted of the likes of Ivankov and Kuma, 2 powerhouses whose strength we are well aware of. In the presence of such figures, it is Sabo who became Mr. 2. And here's what's interesting, he attained that status before acquiring the Mera no Mi, the flame devil fruit left behind after Ace's untimely demise in Marineford. Now, if that isn't enough and you're still thinking about concrete events that prove Sabo's strength, then keep watching. This man stormed the Holy Land of Merijois, the stronghold of the world government and the most heavily securitized place on Earth, and freed slaves while causing havoc and fear. He also was in the presence of the 5 elders and Imu-sama, 6 of the strongest figure in the One Piece world, and came out alive. That's an insane feat for anyone to achieve, and the only reason Sabo hasn't been rewarded his laurels yet is because Oda-san might still be waiting for a more decisive moment to truly showcase his incredible power and strategic masterminding. In addition to all that, yeah, there's more. Sabo managed to escape an island which was bombed to genocide by Imu, protected many of its residents, and then went to other islands raising the banner of the revolutionaries. All these massive feats have rightfully earned him the Flame Emperor moniker, one which the world government might perceive very differently. See, it isn't just Sabo's Sabo's physical powers that are frightening to the powers that be of the One Piece world. It's also his tactical mind and his popularity among the most oppressed and neglected segments of the world. While he might be the Flame Emperor to those seeking liberation, he might be seen as the fifth Emperor of the Sea by the government and the Marines. This would be a very intriguing prospect, since it would allow Sabo some independence from the revolutionaries, while also making him the first non-pirate to earn the status. And sure, Sabo is cooking, and we might as well acknowledge it. With all that rambling, we come to the million-dollar question. What will Sabo's bounty be, and how will Oda decide to reveal it? In my view, Sabo's bounty should be near the 3.5 billion berry mark, making him the strongest emperor of the sea, and hinting also at Dragon's bounty, which might lie around the 4 billion mark. In terms of when this bounty should be revealed, the conclusion of Egghead Island would serve as the best point. I say this because we still don't know how the government will react to Sabo's recent actions, and revealing his bounty at the end of such a decisive arc would signal to One Piece fans that the Revolutionary Army is about to take center stage of the final battle. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any better idea for what Sabo's bounty might be. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to be notified of any latest uploads. That said, see you in the next one.